Alright, let's see what the internet has to provide us with today. Holy fuck. Greetings ladies and gents, my name is Hyozo, the bearded Vulcan Blabbermouth, and I am DiscussThing, and today I want to share with you some very interesting stuff that have happened in the last couple of days, to say the least. And when I say interesting stuff, I think it's first of all a major time coming, a high time for some of these things to happen, although they're not very pleasant, especially for some people. And also kind of expected, especially with the end of Pride Month and the companies celebrating the Pride Month, celebrating inclusivity and all those stuff that have been happening in the last several years across the gaming industry. And on that note, let us also not forget that this year a lot of companies did not participate in that, maybe because they have started to get the hint that these things, activism, nepotism, and hiring people just because of their inclusivity factor are not winning strategies, and they're not profitable ways to go about doing your business, especially when you become a huge company doing game stuff and selling games and trying to break through in this world. So we start off with several posts by Grumps, who has been tweeting a lot as well as other people. This is a tweet from yesterday saying Microsoft laying out thousands. Xbox has been hit. This along with the over 30,000 layoffs in the Western game industry this past year. So it's feedback. It's telling the gaming industry that they're not delivering games that gamers want. The Asian game market is getting a different type of feedback. They're being showered with gamers all over the world, hiring and expanding. And he posted this saying Microsoft will lay off thousands. Chief says gaming division cuts will remove layers of management. And below that we say Microsoft is set to lay off thousands of employees worldwide Wednesday, including some in the Microsoft Gaming Xbox division. Variety has confirmed the total number of staff impacted is under 4% of Microsoft's global workforce, which totals approximately 228,000 employees. I don't know what is more bonkers, that 228,000 people are getting laid off, or that these are only 4% of the total workforce in Microsoft. Now granted, Microsoft is a huge company, it's not just game development, but come on, 228,000 people are just 4% of the total workforce. Holy shit, this is a huge company. But this news is also troubling, and it's kind of expected because these are 200 plus K people that are going to be jobless, and as troubling as it is, it might bode some positives later on. He continues with more tweets, again from July 2nd, Blizzard layoffs happening now, both in development teams and QA, and he posted a tweet from one Aiden, oh sorry, this is a Blue Sky post. Today is my birthday, I just got laid off, anyway here's my work, and he posts some of the things that he has done in Warcraft Rumble and in Heroes of the Storm. We continue with more layoffs will be announced today, and Microsoft Xbox US offices will get the news throughout the day, so expect more cuts probably at Blizzard too. And here we have the post which says Bloomberg story mentions that US offices are expected to be told how many staff will be laid off at each office later today. This is absolutely abhorrent. This is a massive cut. This is what happens when you score almost zero profits on the things that you expected to score profits. You don't get layoffs if you're successful in the field that you're trying to be successful. Now, Microsoft is a profitable company because of the many things that they do. However, when you have a gaming division and apparently it's not being productive for quite some time now, you start to go layoffs, and laying off hundreds of thousands of people is just amazing. But we ain't done yet, folks. We have Woke Games. The Compulsion game is also hit by the layoffs. This is the studio that made South of Midnight, and we have this here. Hi everyone, I'm seeking a new role and will appreciate your support. If you hear of any opportunities or just want to catch up, please send me a message or comment below. I'd love to reconnect. Open to work. This is someone who has been working for Compulsion Games as a release manager and lead QA, and this is most probably this is for South of Midnight. So the game flopped tremendously and now layoffs are coming. This is very, very logical. And to summarize all of that, we have a post from Smash JT who summarized today a lot of the things. Microsoft layoffs. Perfect Dark has been cancelled. Everwild cancelled. Kotaku sold off. Stop killing games on brink of success. Nintendo potentially getting sued, and a lot more. About the Nintendo getting sued, this is a story from July 1st from Dexerto. Nintendo faces legal action over ability to break Switch use whenever they want. This was very expected because it's not exactly something that sounds legal to me, but that's another story. And getting into the story, Smash also posted a post from Warrior64 who had Jason Schreier Blue Sky clip. The new MMORPG project from ZeniMax Online Studios, maker of Elder Scrolls Online, has been cancelled as part of the Xbox layoffs. Sources tell Bloomberg News the project's codename Blackbird has been in development since 2018. Still more news to come this morning. 7 years of development. 7 years of development. Imagine how much money went into that. And imagine just pulling the plug after so long. I mean, when you have 7 years behind on the project, you might as well try to release it. I mean, in order to lay it off after pouring so much money means that they knew that they will get nothing and they'll just pour more and they won't get even a dime back. That's amazing to me, to have to pull the plug like this on a project that you have spent more than half a decade. I mean, imagine yourself in that position. Imagine spending that many years on something, getting money, spending money, and somebody actually decided that the project that you have been working on isn't even worth finishing, and they rather cut the losses, which are probably in the hundreds of billions of dollars, and just saying, yeah, this is the better way because it is utter trash. And we have a post from Cabrutus for Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark level designer says gamers were a mistake, attack them as the racist pigs for opposing race swaps. Now this is a older tweet, but it basically showcases exactly the type of behavior that will lead to your project getting cancelled. As I mentioned, Smash mentioned that in his overview of the stories from yesterday and from today. So when you have this kind of behavior, when you're this kind of person and basically attack the people that you're supposed to sell your game to, you're gonna get cancelled. Your project is gonna get absolutely destroyed because you know what's happening. Gamers have woken up. Gamers are deciding, yeah, we actually have a voice because we're actually the ones who are paying for that product. We are not paid reviewers. We're not someone who's just gonna chill mindlessly. No, we want a good game. And when you do that, when you attack us and when you insult us, we're not just gonna lay it down and take it. We have the money, bitch. We're the one who's gonna pay for your game. And you know what? No, we're not gonna. And that's basically what happened. Moving on to another piece of the news that we just mentioned a little while ago. Geo Media is officially shutting down after selling Kotaku to Layoffs. Only one site was still standing, and now that one is shutting down. To this from Master of the TDAs, which with a snippet from the New York Times, because Kotaku has been sold to the European publisher Layoffs. All but one site remains, which is shutting down. I don't know a lot about Layoffs. I briefly looked at their website. They kind of seem a bit more neutral and just acquiring websites and companies just to probably expand their own network. I still don't have enough information on them, but I will be doing some additional research to see exactly what's gonna happen potentially. And to complete this whole cycle of layoffs, of restructuring, of weird stuff that has been happening, we have a message from Naughty Dog, which was posted by Grams, which basically says that Neil Druckmann has decided to leave the involvement in The Last of Us HBO TV series and focus on gaming and basically on the Heretic Prophet and the other responsibilities as studio heads and head of creative. So basically maybe a bit premature, but yeah, so he's gonna be involved in that as well after the actual current fuck up that was season 2 of The Last of Us. So we can basically probably safely assume that the Heretic Prince is gonna be the next big flop from a prominent, or at least once prominent studio. Yeah, pretty much that's what's gonna happen. But anyways, all these news go and showcase one thing that I wanted to basically get on since the beginning of the video. These layoffs, these stuff that are happening, maybe actually for the good in the long run. And I'm talking about when you're laying off people that actually have the spark of creativity and the motivation to actually do something good with what they can do with their talent. I'm going to give you the example with Expedition 33, which was made by a group of 33 people, passionate. Yes, you had outsourcing a lot, but the core development team was 33 people and a dog, and they made an amazing game. They made one of the best games that has ever been made, with a limited budget, with passion, with notion of how to do stuff. And they did it. Some of them were ex-Ubisoft employees, some of them other ex-big AAA company developers, and they basically banded together and dived into their passion. And so when you have 200 plus K people fired from Microsoft, you can bet your ass that at least a good portion of them will be either game developers or designers or animators or stuff like that, and they can potentially band together. They can pull in their resources or try to do something and create even a small game studio and engage in their passion of creating a good video game. And you now have an example of success with that. You have Expedition 33, so these people can basically look and see that something like that has already been achieved, and it was a massive success, basically telling them you don't need to be part of a huge studio in order to make it. Why? Because gamers, the current state of gamers is actually looking for quality good games. You don't need that much to make a good game in terms of being in a major studio or being a large publisher. So you need to showcase a good product, and then when you do that, gamers will take care of the rest. If you show us good stuff, if you show us an awesome trailer, if you show us good attention to gaming and a good approach to the gaming and to the community, the promotion basically is going to start flowing from large YouTube channels, from smaller channels. Then it will be picked up by some news outlets and stuff like that, and potentially eventually you can get a very nice game going. It doesn't need to be something absolutely astonishing graphically and stuff like that. We need good games. As you can see, games like Schedule 1 are one of the best-selling games, a game that was made up by one person, you know? It's not about having the biggest budget anymore. It's not about having the best toys and the largest teams and stuff like that. It's about having the passion, and we're bringing it back. So these layoffs, these cuts, these cancellations, everything might turn out to be good if they're passionate people that would want to do that. And I do hope, and I do think that they will have it in next year, and probably in 2 or 3 years, we will get people who have been in these companies, in Microsoft, in Xbox, in Compulsion Games, and in all of those studios, and they will band together to say, okay, fuck the narrative, fuck those people who try to tell us what to do, let's do our own thing, let's do something special and good. And then, ladies and gents, we will have an amazing influx of good, passionate games once again. And maybe, just maybe, I'm hopeful that a good new silver or golden age of gaming will arise and we will revel in it. But anyways, that's all I have for this video today. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, press the like, subscribe button and press the join button to become part of the DiscussThing Guild. Every membership helps the channel grow and helps homeless animals and animals in shelters, and you get access to exclusive animal feeding content. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Helzo, this was DiscussThing, and I'll see you guys in the next videos. Cheers and stay fresh.